The Earth wouldn't die instantly if it were cut in half. That's what makes this nightmare so terrifying. Imagine looking up and seeing a strange light tearing across the sky. At first, it feels distant, harmless. But then the ground beneath your feet starts shaking so violently that buildings begin folding like paper. And that's when the panic begins. An unknown force has decided not to destroy Earth completely. Instead, it slices the planet in half with surgical precision. Not a quick death, a slow one. And nobody knows why. Within minutes, earthquakes erupt across the globe at the exact same time. Entire cities collapse before people even understand what's happening. Roads split apart. Oceans rise. Mountains crack open. But here's the strange part. Some people actually survive the first phase. If you were far enough from the split, you might buy yourself a few extra hours. Maybe even days. But survival quickly becomes its own horror story. Because while the planet tears itself apart, society collapses even faster. Phones stop working. Satellites vanish. Power grids fail one after another as power stations sink into the crumbling ground. Suddenly, 7.5 billion people are disconnected at the same time. No internet, no news, no answers. And humans don't handle silence very well. In massive cities, panic spreads faster than the earthquakes. Crowds stampede through collapsing streets. Stores are emptied within minutes. Emergency systems fail instantly. What happens next changes everything. People stop trusting each other. Neighbors turn into threats. Resources become weapons. And somewhere beneath all this chaos, the Earth itself is still being sliced open. Its mantle and core exposed directly to the vacuum of space. You've seen volcanic eruptions before, but this would make every eruption in history look microscopic. Molten rock blasts upward into the atmosphere, while gigantic chunks of the planet are hurled into space like debris from an explosion. Entire continents begin drifting apart. But that's not even the craziest part. The moment Earth's atmosphere gets sliced apart, the real nightmare begins. The air itself starts escaping into space. Suddenly, surviving the earthquakes no longer matters. Temperatures swing violently. Firestorms ignite across entire regions. The oceans begin boiling near the exposed core, while freezing darkness consumes other parts of the planet. And this is where it gets weird. Earth actually tries to heal itself. Gravity starts pulling the two shattered halves back together. For a brief moment, it sounds hopeful, like maybe the planet can survive after all. But the reunion becomes even more catastrophic than the split. Enormous mountains of rock and metal start flying between the two halves at thousands of miles per hour. Imagine dodging continents turned into bullets. The sky becomes a war zone of burning debris. Every collision unleashes enough energy to wipe out entire civilizations instantly. And then comes the heat. As both halves spiral closer together, friction and gravitational forces transform Earth into two spinning spheres of molten rock. The surface completely melts. Oceans evaporate. The atmosphere becomes toxic ash and fire. At this point, humanity is almost certainly gone. No underground bunker could survive it. No spacecraft could escape in time. Every system humans ever built disappears forever. But here's the unsettling twist. Earth itself might not be dead. For hundreds of thousands of years, the two broken halves continue orbiting each other like cosmic ghosts. Slowly, violently, inevitably, until one final collision changes everything again. The impact fuses the remains into a brand new planet. Smaller, hotter, empty. At first, it looks lifeless, a burnt scar drifting through space. But deep beneath the cooling surface, something begins happening that nobody would expect. Life returns. Microscopic organisms appear in the oceans of this new Earth. Tiny, fragile, almost invisible, yet they survive. And over millions of years, evolution starts over from scratch. A second chance for life itself. But that raises a terrifying question. What if humanity wasn't the end of the story, but just the first version? Millions of years after Earth reforms, entirely new species could evolve across the planet. New oceans, new continents, new skies. Intelligent life might rise again without ever knowing we existed. Until one day, they find evidence. A buried city beneath layers of stone. A rusted satellite trapped underground. A single human skeleton fossilized in rock. And that discovery would completely rewrite their understanding of reality. Because to them, humanity would seem impossible. An ancient civilization advanced enough to build skyscrapers, computers, and spacecraft, yet somehow erased from history by a planetary catastrophe so violent it literally split the world apart. And this is where the story becomes truly disturbing. What if the force that cut Earth in half never left? Think about it. Whoever had the power to slice an entire planet with precision wasn't trying to destroy us instantly. If they wanted humanity gone immediately, they could have done far worse. So why choose a slow death instead? Was it a warning? An experiment? Or something even darker? Maybe Earth wasn't attacked because of what we had become, but because of what we were about to become. And if another civilization eventually rises from the ashes of our world, they might uncover traces of that same force waiting somewhere beyond the stars. Watching, silent, patient. But that's not even the creepiest part. If Earth could rebuild itself once, then maybe this has already happened before. Maybe human civilization wasn't the first civilization on this planet. Maybe we were simply the latest. And somewhere beneath our feet right now, the remains of another forgotten world could already be buried in the darkness. So the real question isn't whether humanity could survive Earth being cut in half. It's whether anyone was ever meant to survive at all.